have to, explore the full potential of this particular AI tool. Okay, now, starting with the first slide, we long wanted to transform education, and we have been talking about it so many years. Now, every time you meet, a teacher or a professor, they all complain about how old-fashioned our teaching system is and how we need to revamp it. But the moment ChatGPT came into the picture, we are all very, very frazzled, and we see different reactions from different people. In fact, I'll share a little story with you. Sharmila ma'am approached me about a month back to give a talk on, AI in general and teaching. And I told her, ma'am, I don't have much knowledge about it. Then again, she came back after a week and she said that, okay, you take up the topic of ChatGPT and how it can be used in the classroom. And my first thing that I did was I accepted. And when I generally use ChatGPT in a very limited way, and that too on the online version. Till that day, I did not have the ChatGPT app on my mobile, and I realized, how much, I'm, disadvantaging myself, but not having the app. Now, a simple question to you before you start the session today. How many of you have the ChatGPT app on your mobile phones? Having the app is quite different from using it once in a while online. Okay, so my request would be that all of you please download. So coming back to what was on the slide, the moment ChatGPT came in, most of us went through certain stages of nervous reaction. And I'm going to share some, newspaper clippings from very well-known journals and newspapers. This is from Harvard Independent. And, experts said that ChatGPT will be the of education. Okay, then here we have the Wall Street Journal saying that ChatGPT had been banned from New York City's public schools. Now we as Indians, we are a little late on catching on to things, but people in the West are very fast. And imagine if a country like US has started banning ChatGPT, how much of a worry people are actually suffering. Now, closer to home, if you see, this is very recent news about, Bangalore University banning ChatGPT after students were found using AI tools for exams, assessments, and lab tests. Okay, now this is the reaction of, you can say, 80% of the teachers around the world, not just in India. But then again, we have, colleges like your college, and teachers like Sharmila ma'am, who came up with this idea of a webinar on AI driven tools that can be used in the classroom. So we see a slight shift, from the worry to people, trying to think that why don't we first look at the app. Yeah, can you please put yourself on mute? By mistake, somebody is on unmute.
It's
Thank
done.
you. Yeah. So, so the thing is that we cannot rule out something as a potential threat, without first exploring what kind of a threat it is posing to us. So, many teachers started thinking that don't ban, ChatGPT in school, teach along with it. Then, this is from MIT. Okay, we know how good they are at what they do, and MIT is saying that ChatGPT is going to change education, not destroy it. Now, reading these kind of things, makes one feel a little more confident. Okay. Next is, who's afraid of ChatGPT? In the real world, teachers have little to fear. And the last one, which I find most interesting, despite fear of cheating, New York public schools, they had banned ChatGPT. And in 2 or 3 months, they realized that they have done a disservice to the teachers, and they actually revoked that particular ban. And then teachers and students today are allowed to use ChatGPT in the school. Okay, so here is an image that I've taken from the internet. I would want somebody to tell me what exactly you see and what is this image talking about. Can anybody unmute yourself and help me? there's a steam engine, there are factories, some computers and, a smart car. Can you tell me what this image is all about? Anybody who can help me.
It starts with industrial revolution.
Right, absolutely correct. And see, this is, we are talking about the 4 industrial revolutions that the world has seen, and today we are on the 4th revolution. And here we started with steam, and then electricity came, computing came. You would remember a time when we read in history about the industrial revolution and how people were going and ransacking and breaking industries that were mechanizing things, for example, bread making, machinery. People were worried that they'll lose their job as bread makers, so they would go and break all the machinery and everything. But that is in the past. That was in the 18th century. And now, in the 20th century, we came up with digital things, computing and everything. And if you see today, we have moved on to something which is even more interesting, and perhaps a little worrying for people, which is the Industrial Revolution 4, which talks about artificial intelligence and how we are worried that machines will take over us one day. Now, when we go to the 4th industrial revolution, you will see that all revolutions have a kind of a timeline where people start with fear, then they feel that, oh no, there is hope for this particular kind of mechanization or digitization. And then once they start using that particular thing, they start trusting it. So our movement today, if you see with AI tools, it started with extreme fear. And then when we have, webinars and seminars like this, it shows that people are hoping that it will be of some use to us, we can use it. And once you start using it, you will definitely go on to the trust part. So today, before, this entire session of 5 days, maybe we are hovering somewhere in the hope. And we are hoping by the end of these 5 days, you will start trusting these apps, because you will start using them and you'll see the benefit that it gives you. Okay, now here is a fact check, by 2050, that means in, say, 25 years' time, AI will be 1 billion times smarter than human beings. They'll be smarter than us, and it is a fact, and nobody can gainsay on this. Okay, next fact check is that soon it will be a common assumption that all written pieces will involve the use of AI. In fact, before I started making this presentation, I went and asked ChatGPT to give me an outline. I did not use the outline. However, it gave me a starting point from where to start, on this particular new topic. Okay. Now, you might ask why AI is going to be 1 billion times smarter than human beings. And to understand that, what I've done is I've simplified the concepts of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, because I see I see a lot of people, kind of a little confused or a little vague about, exactly what is what. So I made a very simple Venn diagram to show you what these concepts are. So when we're talking about artificial intelligence, it is nothing but a concept, an idea people had that, what if we can have intelligent machines which can reduce our manual workload, where we have to think less so that it can do our tedious job. Now, the entire concept of creating something artificially as intelligent as human beings is the starting point of artificial intelligence. Now, it is an idea. Now, when you put that idea into use and you make applications, the use of artificial intelligence to make applications give us machine learning. Okay. And when you see this green boxes within the red box, that means machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. Okay. There are other forms of artificial intelligence also. Machine learning is one of them. And what does machine learning do? It says that it can think like me, but it needs some amount of assistance from human beings. So human intervention is required in machine learning. Today, we are using AI tools. ChatGPT is in machine learning, but we still have to give it some amount of instructions for it to work. It cannot understand what we are thinking and generate work. But we are also moving to something even more, terrific, you can say, which is deep learning, which is an application of machine learning, and hence it is another box within machine learning. And here, what we are doing is that we are training machines to think like us and, to help us. And here, the interesting part is deep learning will not require our intervention at all. Machine learning still needs human intervention. So this is the basic, understanding of what is artificial intelligence, what is machine learning, and what is deep learning. Okay, now I'm going to talk about how the future looks like, right now, where we are and where we are heading, and why we need to really incorporate, artificial intelligence in our life in a big way. Now, see, there is narrow artificial intelligence or artificial narrow intelligence. It is talking about machine learning, and I've given you some examples here. When we use Siri or Alexa or Cortana, these have narrow intelligence. It has been fed with some amount of data, and it can regurgitate that data to you on the basis of what you ask or expect it to do. Now, from narrow intelligence, things have moved to general intelligence. It can perform a lot of other activities. And a very good example of general intelligence is the self-driving car. Tesla's self-driving car, it is not only, working on its own, but it is learning from every trouble situation that next time I meet with a problem like this, what should I do and how should I respond? Similarly, ChatGPT is also, it has data, but every day it is learning more. Okay, so it is generally intelligent. Now we are looking at super intelligence. Unfortunately, these super intelligent machines, where they have a consciousness, where they can decide whether this is ethically right or this is ethically wrong, and then there'll be no difference basically between a human being and a super intelligent machine. But till date, we haven't yet reached to machine consciousness where they have, a sense of ethics or a sense of morality. We are still stuck with the general intelligence, and the highest form of artificial intelligence right now you can see that we are using would be the ChatGPT. Okay, now what we have here is, with the use of ChatGPT, two things are happening. The students are getting a personal tutor. Not every student comes from a very affluent background where their parents are educated. So when they're away from the school teachers at home, they have a teacher to themselves. Any question they have, they can just ask ChatGPT, and ChatGPT would give the answer or solve them or would prod them with some helping tips. So ChatGPT is working as a personal tutor without costing a penny to the students. And on the other hand, if you see the teachers, forever, I remember post-COVID, with all these NAC accreditation and things coming in, our kind of paperwork has increased so much, our load has increased so much. And every time I'm thinking, I wish, I had a personal assistant who would do, some amount of tedious job for me, which a teacher has to do on an everyday basis. So what the teachers are getting from ChatGPT would be a personal assistant who is reducing your workload for you. So therefore, I say it's a win-win situation. Okay, so what are we going to do today now that I have walked you through a little bit of understanding of artificial intelligence and where ChatGPT is exactly set in that? Now, today I'm going to be showing you some demo activities that teachers can create for their learners. Then I'm going to show you some activities which will help you as a teacher reduce your workload by reducing the amount of time you're investing in certain things. And the last thing that I'm going to be talking about is troubleshooting and feedback, because using something artificial is not without problems. So how do we detect those problems? How do we solve those problems, and how do we ensure that some amount of what the student has produced is actually his or her own work and not just everything copied from ChatGPT. So before I go to the actual activities, I want to walk you through the actual interface of ChatGPT. I see a lot of webinars and a lot of experts coming, and they're too fast with everything. They just show this has to be done, this has to be done, this has to be done, and most of the time it happens so fast that I'm completely lost. So I thought that I'll go at a slower pace, and I'll actually walk you through how the interface looks and how you can customize to yourself. Okay, now I'm going to make you two promises. First of all, that all the software that I share with you today are free of cost. Yesterday's session that I was seeing with Selva Babu, he showed a lot of interesting things that you can do, but at the same time I also noticed that he has a paid version of ChatGPT. Okay, now Indians as poor teachers, we don't get paid a lot, so the payment for 1 month of usage of ChatGPT of version 4, which is the paid higher version, is $16 per month. Okay, now $16, you just multiply it with 84 rupees, and it's a lot of money for Indian teachers if you see for an entire year. So most teachers here on this platform today, I believe, are going to use the free version, and I'm going to show you what are the things that you can do with the free version. With the paid version, you have so many things that you can do. It reduces a workload, but again, it is very expensive. And the next promise that I'm going to make you is that all the demo activities I'm going to show you today, most of them will use only ChatGPT and Office, for example, Word or a PPT slide. I'll not be introducing you to too many apps, maybe one or two, and the ones that I use are completely free. It's absolutely free, which I feel is a very, very important factor, because every time one of these tools that I'm trying to use, it is asking me for payment, so it is no good to me. So after I share these two promises, I'm going to go to my Google screen. Hide. Yeah. Can you see my desktop screen? Can anybody tell me? Because I'm going to show you a few things here.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So here is my Google screen. I write ChatGPT, and it is giving me ChatGPT. Now, when I go and I click, it takes me to ChatGPT. Unfortunately, I cannot show you the login process because I had already logged in. Now, when you go to ChatGPT, you will notice that this is highlighted 3.5, version 3.5, which is the free one. And this is what most people have. Now, in order to go to ChatGPT 4, you will have to shell out $16 every month, which I doubt most people are going to do. Now, this is how ChatGPT looks. And before we go and start working on ChatGPT, there are some personalization that I'm going to show you here. Now, here is my photo, and here is my account. Now, if you click on it, you see custom instructions. As I said, ChatGPT will deal with each person differently depending on your need. So I want to customize ChatGPT to my need, and you see what it is asking. What would you like ChatGPT to know about you to provide better responses? Okay. And what basically they want you to, if you look on the other side, where are you based? Who do you work for? What do you do? What are your hobbies? What exactly you want to do with ChatGPT? So the more you write about yourself, the more the software can understand you, the more specified information that it is going to throw towards you. So before you start using ChatGPT, my suggestion is that please go through these customization of instructions. Okay. How would you like ChatGPT to respond to you? Do you want it to treat you in a very formal way, or you want to talk to you? You want ChatGPT to talk to you like a friend? Okay. Do you want long answers, long explanations, or you just want the answer, a quick summary of something? Okay. So these are some of the things that if you put and you save your preferences, next time you go to ChatGPT, it is going to give you very, very specific answers. Okay, so now that I have shown you the interface of ChatGPT, I'll again move back to my slides here. Okay. Is it visible now? My slide?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
Okay, good. Okay, so I'm going to show
Yes.
you a very simple activity that English teachers need every day, which is summarization activity, how to summarize. So look at the prompt. You know, the trick of using Chat GPT is the trick of putting the right prompt. If you write the prompt correctly, it gives you a very nice answer. If you give a very vague prompt, it will give you vague. See, so look at the prompt I've given. Generate 5 passages of 100 words each. The first passage should be able to summarize through Venn diagram, the second through a timeline, the third through a matrix, the fourth through, I'm unable to see here, through a cyclic diagram, and the last through a tree diagram. Okay, this is the prompt that I gave to ChatGPT. And if you go to the next slide, what it gave me was a very long list with 5 passages. Now, I chopped them into 5 different snapshots, and here I'm showing you, this is the first passage it has given, and here we are going to use it. It can be summarized through ChatGPT, through Venn diagram here, if you see. Okay, next, the next one, summarization through a timeline, then summarization through a matrix. You see that it has generated our 100-word summary passages, a cyclic diagram, and summarization through a tree diagram. Now I have the text. Now what did I do? Very smartly, I copy pasted the text onto a Word document. Okay, here I have the 5 passages. I have just put them in any order, and on the right hand side, I have put a matrix, I have put a cyclic diagram, I have put a, a timeline, a tree diagram, and a Venn diagram. Now, what students simply have to do is they have to draw a line to match the passage and tell me which particular graphic organizer can be used to summarize this particular passage. It's a very, very simple activity, yet it helps students to understand and categorize information, which I feel is very, very important. Okay. Now, the other side of this activity is very interesting. Sometimes what I do is that I give my students a diagram, a graphic organizer, and I tell them that read it and then you write a passage on it. Okay. Now, see, when you go to Chat GPT, the problem with Chat GPT is that it can only generate text. It cannot generate diagrams. Okay. It can generate code, but no diagrams. So what I did, an additional thing which you can do it for free, is I wrote on ChatGPT that generate a cyclic loop diagram here, okay, using mermaid.js. Now, this is a particular programming language. You just need to remember, I've put it somewhere on the slide also, to explain the food chain. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go out of this right now, and I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to show you what I did on Chat GPT and what it gave me. Okay. Okay, so here is my text box. I copied this and see what it is generating for me. Okay. Wow. Now, this looks very complicated, and you might get worried that, what am I going to do with it? I asked GPT to make a diagram for me, and it has given me some code. Now, this code that it has generated is because I asked it to use mermaid.js to prepare a code for me. Now, what do I do here? You see copy code here. Okay. Now, I copy the code, and I simply, it's too difficult here. Okay, now I'm going to show you what I'm doing on a new text. Okay, so I write mermaid, sorry. Oh. Somehow I'm not able to type. Can anybody help me? Okay, I'll just stop presenting. I'll reshare, sorry, okay?
Okay.
Okay, so if you see my screen, what I am going to type is mermaid.js previewer. Okay, now when you write mermaid.js previewer, this is what you will see. Okay, mermaid live editor. So I just open it. Okay, and it looks like this. Now I delete everything. Okay, now the code that I have here, this floating controls, it's really troubling me a lot. Okay, so I go to ChatGPT, I copy the code from here, and what I do is I just paste it here, and here you see the render button. I just press it, and this is what it gives me. You know, otherwise ChatGPT cannot produce something like this until and unless you have version 4 and you have plugins and all, which is very expensive. So this is the simplest and the cheapest way that you want to make any diagram, anything. Ask ChatGPT to do. Ask it to produce a code in mermaid.js. Copy the code, open, mermaid.js preview. You paste the code here, you run the render, and this is what you get. So what am I going to do? I'm going to just copy paste this onto a Word document, give it to my students, and they can write a passage on the food chain on the basis of what they see on the diagram. Now, this I've used a very simple diagram for you people. You can make a lot more complicated diagrams with the use of mermaid.js. Okay, so again, here I'm going back to my slide. Okay, so this is the code that ChatGPT had generated. Okay, now I went to mermaid.js previewer, and as I said, it's absolutely free. And this is how actually mermaid.js previewer looks like. I've already shown you a live demo, and this is a screenshot that I have taken earlier in the house and pasted it onto the slides. Okay. Next, I want to make a quiz on Shakespeare. So towards that, see, such specific instructions had to be written. Create a table on the plays of Shakespeare. Column 1, I want to know the names of the plays. Column 2, the year in which it was written. Column 3, the most well-known quote from that particular play. And column 4, whether it is a comedy or a tragedy. Now, the moment I copy-pasted this is what ChatGPT gave me, and you see how nicely it is presented in a table format. But if you just write that, tell me about the plays of Shakespeare and the years, it will give it to you in a passage form. So the more specific, instructions you give, you ask it to make a table, it will make you a table. Now I have this information and I want to make a very interesting quiz for my students. So what do? I take this to a Word document. I copy this entire table to a Word document, and I simply start going and deleting maybe the name of the play. Okay, and they have the rest of the thing. In the next one, I have removed the genre, whether it is a tragedy or a comedy. In the Midsummer's Night's Dream, I have removed the year. Okay, they can find out on their own. And in Hamlet, you see, I've kept the name, I've kept the year. And for the quotation, I have removed most of the quotation except for the starting 2 words. Okay, so once you have asked your students to read a little bit about Shakespeare and come to class, and you give them a quiz like this as a starters, it's very, very interesting for the students. And the next thing is, you don't even have to cross check. You can give them the answer key, or you can simply tell them that go to chat. Once they take the test, tell them go to ChatGPT, find out the answers and write down your answers. It's simple. So ChatGPT does the checking part for you, which is very tedious for teachers. Okay. Next, I want to make a match the following exercise. Okay. So I wrote on ChatGPT, create a table on 5 literary devices that we use maybe in poems. Okay. Column 1, the devices. Column 2, the definitions of these literary devices. And column 3, an example of each device. So this is what ChatGPT gave me. Here's the screenshot. Here is a screenshot of what ChatGPT gave me. Now I have all the information. Now I just simply have to use my creativity to take this to Word document, copy this to Word document, and make an exercise that I can photocopy and give it to my students. So what I simply did was I removed all the definitions, I jumbled them, and I put them as column B here. And I took all the examples, jumbled them, and I put it as column C here. Now I'll give my students a Word document like this, and I'll just tell them that place the right definition in the right row and also give the right example. Okay, so moving on to the next activity. This is a quick bingo game. Okay, now making bingo games, we have so many apps today, but it is easier with ChatGPT because it is giving me very specific products. So I wanted a bingo game with 15 difficult portmanteau words. Portmanteau words, we all know, where you join two words and you get a completely new word by, fusing these two words together. So when I asked ChatGPT, what it gave me was the set of 15 words, and you can see words like lamping. I don't even know what is Brangelina myself. I don't know what is Brangelina. But what ChatGPT did was it gave me the words and it also gave me the definitions of the words. Now I took these words, I simply copy pasted it, onto a document. You can use a bingo maker, or you can just go to Word document, make a 4x4 matrix or a 3x3 matrix. You generate this and you give it to your students as photocopies, and then you read out the definitions that ChatGPT has already gave you, and they should be able to match the definitions to the ones that are there on their photocopied sheet. Okay, so these are some of the activities that you can easily do. Apart from this, other activities I'm sure teachers are already doing. The reason I'm showing you these activities is to show you what kind of prompt you actually give. Instead of giving very general prompts, how you give it prompts in a specific way. Now we are moving to how teachers can reduce their workload with the help of ChatGPT. And this is the part that I really want you to focus on. Okay, instant summaries. Sometimes, to make material or to read up about a particular, say, a new author who has come, maybe a new Scandinavian author that you have to teach in the class. Okay, now you go online and there's so much of information. So you can simply summarize web articles, YouTube videos by writing something like this on ChatGPT. Summarize in 100 words the following article. Now, this article, I typed history of space exploration, and the web page went on for like kilometers and kilometers. So what I did was I just took the the link from that particular website. I went to ChatGPT, pasted the link, and I said, summarize this entire web page in 100 words, and it gave me a very good summary. Okay, next instant summary, this you will love. Sometimes, before we prepare research papers, or for example, we are reading someone's thesis. Some students has submitted a thesis. Now, a thesis would be really, it can go up to 100, 150 pages. And sometimes as teachers, we don't have the kind of time to read through 150 pages. Okay, so in that case, what you do is you just go ahead and type TLDR, summarize in 100 words, and you paste the entire soft copy of the thesis underneath it. Okay, now what is TLDR? Too long? I didn't read it, therefore summarize the thesis for me in 100 words. And here you just paste the text, which might go up to 4,000 words or 5,000 words, and you will see you will get the entire thesis in 100 words for you. Now, these are two of the things that were really helpful for other teachers, and I've tried using it myself in the last 10-15 days, and it is simply wonderful. Okay, similarly, you can take a link from a YouTube video, which is maybe 45 minutes talk. For example, today, my talk will be for, say, 60 minutes. Now, somebody who did not attend and would like to know what I've said, they will just go to the YouTube video, click the link and paste it in ChatGPT, and can get a summary in 100 words on the basic highlights of what I have done. Okay, next is generating text. Now, generating, written comprehension passages and all, grammar exercises. These are some things that everybody can do, and teachers are doing it also. But what I'm going to show you today in terms of generating text would be specifically a listening test. Now, for example, if you want to give your students a practice on how IELTS listening test is like, okay, now, you will not find a lot of free IELTS tests online. So what I did was I gave it instructions in steps. Please see that the instructions are not given altogether. So the first time I gave it an instruction, I said, create a C2 level listening test on a passage of 500 words. Now, once I gave this, it gave me a passage of 500 words. Once I got the passage, next time I wrote create 4 MCQs on the above passage. Then once it had given me 4, then I said 4 fill in the blanks on it, 4 true and false, and 4 inferential questions. Now, after I have all the sets, 4 different sets of questions, then I say, give me answers to all the above questions. Now, the problem with ChatGPT is that when it gives you the passage is a written passage of 500 words. And how do you give it to the students in the audio format? You don't have a recording, okay? And we cannot expect students to listen to some random video on YouTube and answer tests, okay, listening tests. So what you simply do is you copy the 500-word page and you convert it in an audio file, and I'll show you how to convert it into an audio file. And it's very simple. And what I'm going to use is free, okay? It is called text2speechmaker.com, TTS.com. And you wouldn't believe me, I looked at least, 20 or 22 different tools. All of them were paid tools. This is the only one which is completely free and so easy to use. So I am right now going to come out of my presentation. I am going to go to Google. I'll first stop sharing. I don't know, some problem. Okay, so here. Okay. Okay, so what we are going to do is type TTS Maker. Can you see? ttsmaker.com. Now, when I click on it, this is what comes. This is what TTS Maker looks like. Okay, so I'm just going to delete everything here. This is what I had tried earlier. Okay, so see here, it's a very simple interface. Okay, you can select English. And these are the voices that you can use. Okay, these are, you can click on to hear how they sound. Okay, now what you simply need to do is go to ChatGPT, get the 500-word text. Now, see, I don't have here the, like, let me type for you. Say, let me see, 300 words. Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, sorry. Okay, so I've asked it a very simple prompt, create a 300-word passage on AI in education. Okay, so this is the entire text it is generating for me. Okay, now I'm not going to copy everything. Just for a demo, I'm copying the first 2 paragraphs. Okay, I copy it and I take it to free test maker. Okay, what is this nonsense happening? Okay, can you see the screen? So here is the text box. I just paste it. Okay, now I'm going to select, say, maybe this fellow. Okay, I selected this fellow. Okay, now here you will see it will generate a code for you, 0363, 0363. And I just have to say convert to speech. Okay, if you see the yellow line here, it is converting to speech.
Artificial intelligence, AI, has become an increasingly integral component of modern education. transforming traditional teaching methodologies and enhancing the learning experience for students. In the realm of education, AI is not merely a technological advancement, but a catalyst for innovation, offering a myriad of opportunities to revolutionize the way knowledge is imparted and acquired.
Can you see how it has rendered the speech? Now you want different voices, you can choose from here. Now I need to get this file so that I can use it for my students. So I just say download voice file. Okay, downloading file, please. Now if I go to my downloads and you see I've got the file here. Okay, so if I just...
Artificial intelligence, AI, has become an increasingly integral component of modern education, transforming traditional teaching methodology.
Did you see? I hope all of you are getting it's not very difficult at all. So yeah, now I'll go back to my slides here. Okay, so I will be sharing the PDF of my slides, so you don't need to remember the name of this website. It is written here in red, ttsmaker.com. Okay, this is how actually the entire interface looks like. I just showed it to you. So all you need to do is select who you want, convert to speech, and download file. That's all that you have. And once you have the speech ready, then you print all the questions in a question paper. You can photocopy it and give it to your students. You play the audio, the students fill in the blanks, the students do the true and false, and hence you can create a listening test. Reading comprehension and all is very easy to create, so that's why I'm not doing that as an activity. Okay, so next is this is the part that I really want you to pay attention to, is how to create basic presentation outlines. It takes us literally days to make good presentations, but ChatGPT can make an outline of a presentation. Mind it, if you have ChatGPT 4, it can make the presentation and give it to you in Canva, but we're using a free version, so we have to do a few extra steps to get the presentation out of ChatGPT, because ChatGPT cannot make any presentation for you as such. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy paste this, create an outline. Okay, and I'm going to stop sharing again. I'm going to start sharing again. Okay, so I go here and I go to ChatGPT and I paste this link which says that create an outline of a presentation on ChatGPT and how it can help teachers. And you create this for me in 5 slides. Okay, create an outline. So okay, can you see my screen, how it is generating what you should put on slide 1, what you should put on slide 2, 3. So what I'm going to do is very simple. I'm just going to copy paste this outline. I'm going to copy this outline. I'm copying it. I copied it. Now you have to go to the online version of Office. If you have Word already installed in your computer, it will not work with the installed Word, but it will work with Word online. So what do I write? Office 365 login. Okay. Now, the login to Office 365 is absolutely free. Anybody can do it. I have already logged in. So when I open this, this is what I get, Microsoft 365 login. I open it here. And once you open it, it looks something like this. Okay, here you have. And if you go here, there are these 9 dots here on top. Click on it and you get Word here. Looks familiar to you? Okay. Now, when I open this Word document, it looks exactly like a Word document that you have with you. Now, what am I going to do? I'm just going to paste what I copied from ChatGPT, which is the slide 1, slide 2 introduction. Okay, I have this. Now, this is the part where you have to pay attention. Here, you go to File here and you click on Export, and it tells you to export to PowerPoint presentation. Okay. Now it is looking for some themes for you. Okay. If you want more themes, you can see some more themes here. Something that, suits your liking, maybe. Okay. I like this one. And I select this. It becomes highlighted blue and I export it. Okay. So right now it is making the slides for me by adding the content. It is ready. Yay, your presentation is ready. I open the presentation. And see, this is how my presentation looks with all the things. Slide 2, I just have to delete this slide 2. Okay. And, you can use these prompts to further develop. Okay. Now, suppose I go to slide 3, enhancing student interaction. Now I want to customize and change the design. Here's a designer on the right hand side. So this looks too plain for me. So maybe, what I do is I select this. Okay, 3 things that, so I select this. So for each slide, you can go ahead with the designer, click on this. Okay, I'm just giving you a sample of how it is done. Okay, so my slides more or less look like this. Okay, my slides look like this. Now I go back to file and I say save as, and here you see download a copy. So I click on download a copy. I download it. Here it is getting downloaded. Okay. Now I simply go to my downloads and I click on this. And this is my presentation. Okay. This is how it looks. Now, this you need to understand is the basic outline. And you need to, look into it deeper and start adding more content to it. But it will save you a lot of time by trying to figure out where I should start, what all things I should put, and how I should sequence it. So this way of making presentation slides, I personally found was very useful. So for my presentation, I got the outline. I didn't get the PPT because I like making my own slides, but it gave me some starting point. Okay, now going back to the slides again. Okay, so here I have given the steps of how you can generate the presentation. So when I share the PDF with you, you people will be able to do it on your own. Until and unless you try it once, you will not know how it is done. Okay, we're coming to troubleshooting and feedback. Okay. First thing, if you see a piece of work submitted by student is unusually good, flawless almost, mostly that this is not produced by the student because you have a general idea of the proficiency level of the student. So what do you do next? You go to GPT-0. Now, this is very interesting. If people have found out a way to cheat, then, there are other smart people who have also found out a way to catch the cheater. So there is this student, this tool was created by a student from Princeton, okay? And he calls it GPT-0, and GPT-0 promises you that if you copy paste the text here, it will tell you how much of it has been written by ChatGPT. So for example, this particular text, they put it here and it shows that, it has been, 100% taken or created by an AI tool. And look at the fun part. It will take you not only text created by ChatGPT, that is 3.5. It can detect something created by GPT-4, Bard, like that day, one of the presenters, resource person, he was talking about Bard. It talks about humans. So all of these different AI tools, anything is generating, you can copy paste the text here and it will tell you mostly, how much of it has been, done by ChatGPT and how much is human creation. Okay. So I'm not taking you to this tool. It is very simple. You just write GPT-0 and it will take you to this particular website. Okay. This is also free, by the way. Okay. Next is, when some student gives you a work generated by ChatGPT and you doubt that this is created by ChatGPT, what you do is you take the soft version of that work and you post it in ChatGPT itself, and then ask ChatGPT to create my 3 questions on the basis of that particular write-up or whatever, and ask the students to answer those 3 questions. If they can answer, means they know what they have written, they might have taken. But if they can't answer, it simply means they only know how to write the prompt and they don't know what ChatGPT has generated. So these are, some of the 2 ways that I found I can generally catch hold of students who are using ChatGPT. Or I'll just read whatever they're written and randomly pick up one difficult word from the passage and ask them that, do you know the meaning? If they don't know, which simply means that they have not written it themselves. Okay. Now, bottom line of what we are heading towards is that ChatGPT can give you theoretical knowledge. I heard so many of the teachers asking that, what is the future for the teacher? Where do we go? Do we die? Do we sink? Do we perish? Because, ChatGPT can do our work. Now, the most interesting thing is that it can give students theoretical knowledge. For example, I want to know how to drive. Before I go for a driving test, I actually have to give a written test. So I can ask ChatGPT to teach me all about driving and what I should press with my left leg and what I should press with my right leg and how I should accelerate. I know everything in theory. But unfortunately, you cannot drive a car until and unless you actually drive it. And this is where teachers and schools are going to come into use. That, ChatGPT can give you theory. It cannot give you any practical demonstration. For example, a doctor might sit at home, a would-be doctor might sit at home, and he might memorize everything ChatGPT has given. He knows everything about every disease. But if he doesn't know how to inject a patient or to cut open the stomach to do a operation, then he is no doctor. It is no good, all the theoretical knowledge. So take hope from this, and therefore teachers will always be needed. However, there is a warning here. AI won't take over our jobs, but AI savvy teachers will definitely take over our jobs. So people who have not installed, ChatGPT on their mobile phones, start doing it now. And I would request that you go through some of these activities that I showed and you start using it in the classroom. That is all from my side. I want to thank Sharmila ma'am, in fact, for kind of forcing me to do this particular presentation. And because of it, I got to know so many things that ChatGPT right now can help me with. Thank you very much for listening to me patiently. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer.
Thank you, Chunki. It's such a wonderful presentation. And we learned many ChatGPT tools which we can use in our classroom. Now over to the participants. If you have any doubts, you can clear. You can ask questions.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, you began with writing summary. Does this app creates the answer that time only, or is it it's the data from somewhere it is presenting to the user?
What answer do you want? What answer are you exactly looking for?
Suppose I'm teaching summary writing.
Okay.
As you said it in the initial stage only.
Okay.
Then I use ChatGPT and up a particular passage I give and it gives the answers.
See, ChatGPT, if it is summarization, the ChatGPT can only give you a shortened version of, say, 1,000 word into, say, 200 words.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it already there somewhere someone had done, or it creates its own?
It is creating. That is what it is learning every moment. It's thinking like a human being. It's evolving like a human being. So, second time you ask it, it might give you a completely different summary. The same prompt you give, it might give you a different summary. So it uses any given moment of time, different data set.
Achha.
Okay.
Any more questions? Okay.
I believe the audience would like to go now. So they don't have any questions. So that's fine.
Okay. Over to Dr. Suryakala. Yes, Dr. Suryakala. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, Dr. Chumki, for the mind-expanding experiences that we have gained through your presentation. You gave us the confidence to use ChatGPT in the right way to support our teaching learning process and also to reduce our workload as teachers. We thank you for having accepted our invitation readily, and we hope to have the honor of having you as a resource person in other such events hosted by our institution. I also take pleasure in expressing my sincere gratitude to all the participants of this FDP. Without you participants, the FDP would have had no meaning. We hope you found the FDP informative and worthwhile. We believe that all the resource persons provided in-depth insight and actionable information to harness the potentials of artificial intelligence for teaching and learning. Let me conclude. Let us have a determination to use what we have learned in the FDP in our pedagogical and research practices. Thank you once again. Wishing you all success in this regard. As in the previous days, the feedback link has been posted in the chat box. Thank you and goodbye to everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I'll
ma'am.
Thank you
share the
all.
PDF of my slides on the group that is there, right?
Okay.
Thank you
very much. Thank you all.
Happy Dhanteras, happy Diwali, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you and wish you the same, ma'am.
Open the door. Get him out of there. No, wait.
என்ன பாக்குற?
நீங்க மனசு கட்டுப்பாடு